Hey, what's up, everybody? Uh-oh. Wrong one. There we go. Professional Noctis. We're off to a good start. Happy Tuesday, happy Tuesday. How you doing, everybody? Good to be with you. No, happy Thursday. What am I saying? Gosh, it's been a long week. It has been a week. But Tuesday or Thursday, whatever it is, I'm really glad to be with you. I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so you can see my face and not those curtains. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtains. Name that movie. You know what that is? Might be too young for that, you guys. How we doing tonight? Who all's in here? Hey, some dude. What's up with the sub? The Prime sub. Thank you. Subscribe for 2 months. Heck yeah. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the sub. Appreciate you, appreciate you. Kuruai, hello, hello, hello. Hey, hey, class. Happy to reunite with some fellow gaming nerds. Well, you're in the right place. Some education tonight, some philosophy, some religion. Oz the Great and Powerful. Oh, yes. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Yeah, that's right. That's it. It's wicked. Ha! Yes, the Wizard of Oz. I've never seen Wicked. They may say it in there. I don't know. I don't know. I've also never seen Oz the Great and Powerful. Is that the sequel? Or is that the prequel? A quill? Guest appearance by the PS5 home screen. True. Truth. We really haven't shown a lot of PS5 home screen, have we? I usually just jump right into the game. You want to see what's on my home screen? You want to spy on me a little bit? I'll show you a little bit. I've got some interesting things on there while we wait for people to weasel their way in to these parts. Yeah. Felt like a long day at work. Oh, you and me both, brother. So yeah, we got Final Fantasy XVI. You can see what I've been playing. Spider-Man 2, Be Greater Together. I put 25 hours into this game so far. I'm not speeding through it, but I'm also not. I don't feel like I'm taking my time too much, so it's good. Sonic Superstars, super fun game. These are ProfNoctis 30-second reviews. Super fun game. I beat it co-op. Super fun couch co-op. Really, really great. You can play up to 4 players. Each one plays totally differently. Really, really great game. It's unfortunate that this game came out the same week as Mario Wonder. My pictures. Okay, let's talk about Ruins Magus. Ruins Magus is a phenomenal game. It is for PSVR 2. I did a review over on the pixels.com, the-pixels.com for it. And it's just a super fun game. You don't get a lot of virtual reality or JRPGs, but it is super cute, super charming, amusing. I really liked it. Really liked it. Speaking of PSVR 2, we've got Star Wars here. Tales from Galaxy's Edge. That's on PSVR 2. That one's pretty good. It gives me a little bit of motion sickness, so I can't play it for too long of a stint. But it's really fun. It's really fun. Let's see. Then we've got Endwalker. Ah, God, just listen to that music, right? So good. Very peaceful. It says I've put 467 hours into this game, but that's actually a little disingenuous. That's not really true. I've put many, many more in that. And the reason that I say that is because I've put in more hours in the PS4 version and the PS3 version. So I actually played way more of this. And then we've got Stranger of Paradise. We won't play that too much. Crisis Core and then Sonic Frontiers. Whoa, is that MJ Gallagher? What is up, everybody? Okay, let me give a shout out to MJ Gallagher. You guys, if you don't know this guy, you gotta know this guy. He's so great. If you like my streams, you're gonna love MJ Gallagher. In fact, MJ. Oh my gosh, amazing that you would even say this. I'll be here tonight. Because right here on my desk, I have a copy of MJ's latest book called Greek Myths That Inspired Final Fantasy VII. Amazing, amazing book. I am not done with it yet. Unfortunately, the tasks of the of the semester have taken over, but you guys, the author of Greek myths that inspired Final Fantasy VII, MJ Gallagher. If you don't know him, go and check out this guy over on Twitter/X. Do we call it Twitter now? I don't know. So, yeah. Anyway, MJ's great. I feel, Mo, I feel like you and I are like kindred spirits, just like brothers from across the pond, so to speak. Absolutely love this guy. In fact, so much of what I do, just parallels a lot of what you do. But one interesting thing, I've mentioned you a couple of times on stream. One interesting thing that that is different between us is you really focus, MJ really focuses on highlighting all of these parallels. Like this is a Greek or a Norse, or even beyond that, influence on this game, and here's some great parallels. Whereas I'll look at the parallels, but I'm a little bit more focused on so what does this mean? Practicality of modern religious thought and philosophy of religion. So I think that you and I are really complementary in a lot of ways. In fact, I think in a recent stream, I said, if you're the Mythos, then I'm kind of the Logos, and we kind of go well together. Anyway, brother, we got to do a podcast sometime, man. We gotta get on this. Anyway, so that's it for introductions. Hey, if this is your first time watching with us, whether you are on Twitch or YouTube, thank you so much. Let me just introduce myself. My name is Wade. I am a professor at the University of Alabama, where I teach Final Fantasy and I teach religious studies. I did my dissertation, wrote my dissertation, got my doctorate in teaching Judeo-Christian kingship through Final Fantasy 15. Final Fantasy 15 gets a lot of heat online, but it's one of my favorites. It may have to be my favorite because I've put so many hours into it, but absolutely love that game. And just a quick shout out for the future. In the spring, finally, is why I am teaching my spring course on Final Fantasy 15 in Judeo-Christian kingship. We will be streaming that game and doing some live lecture series with some of the students in my class. So get excited for that. We're really excited about that. So anyway, tonight, in addition to all of the random conversations that I bet that we'll have about me trying to get good in the hard mode of this game, we're going to be talking about Barnabas/Odin. This is part 2. Just as a quick reminder, hey Potatoes, how are you? Welcome into the chat. Glad you're here. Hope you're doing well. In addition to all of the things that we're going to talk about tonight, we have really been landing the plane on our thesis of this entire lecture series of philosophy of religion, where we have talked about all of the icons and all of the dominants in a way where we've tried to describe not only the similarities to real-world religions and history, but we've also tried to name divine attributes that each of these icons represents. And I think that that's one of the key ways that we can best understand this game. So just as a recap, in chat, you can kind of shout these out if you know them. What divine attributes have we said for various icons? Because one of the key pieces here is we have been saying that the icons describe or convey some specific attribute, adjective, personality trait of real-world divinity. So whether it's Hinduism, Judeo-Christian kingships, things like, not kingships, Judeo-Christian thought, any of that stuff. If you know any of them, go ahead and shout them out. Lady of the Rings, hello! Welcome. Glad to have you in tonight. You're here at the beginning of the stream. Heck yeah! It's going to be a good night, you guys. Happy Thursday indeed. In addition to the divine attributes of the icons, we've been talking about the lives of the dominants who embody, they house the icon themselves. And we've made this parallel of the image of God, using the term icon for that representation of the divine that exists within the dominant. and how they parallel and play off of each other. You got home on time. Nice. Racy May, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you in. So just as a recap, I'll go ahead and share with you, we've been through all of these different icons. We've talked about how Garuda represents the control of the divine, how Benedicta's story is a story of trying to wrest control in out-of-control circumstances. We've also talked about provision through Sid and Rama's story, about how Sid is providing a place for people, and how his trajectory of provision changes even in the arc of his own story. We've talked about wrath as the kind of core attribute, wrath or maybe even manifesting in revenge for Ifrit. We've talked about, most recently, we talked about love, compassion of Shiva. Even in its destructive nature, as we saw with the Iron Kingdom, we see love as that core attribute, and especially as she is conveying love to Clive, and it kind of softens and tempers him. We've talked about justice with Bahamut and with Dion and that arc. We've talked a lot about the power and strength of Titan. And what I want to remind you all is that each of these icons are pointing to a larger story of real-world gods, and each one of them can be taken as a various attribute, right? You put them all together and you have a tapestry, a buffet, if you will, of real-world interpretations of God. A couple of things that I want to say before we get into the game. Number one, this lecture stream is always better and best when you participate. So if you've got a thought, you've got a question, or you're like, hey, I think that Barnabas/Odin could be this attribute, something like that, feel free to shout it out. We're not going to turn anybody down. We're going to have a good discussion and stuff. We may not always agree on things, but I'm a big advocate for class is better when we're all a part of it. So feel free to chime in. The second thing that I'll say tonight is that, just as a reminder, we have people that are religious and non-religious, and everybody in every perspective and opinion is welcome here. We're not trying to deconstruct anybody's faith. We're not trying to build up faith like a Bible study. Instead, we're trying to figure out what this game and this game's story has to say about the nature of religion and the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between in it. Okay, with that, why don't we get to the game? We've stalled out long enough, so let's go ahead and do this. All right, let me change up the scene here. Okay, now that my introduction is done, how's everybody doing? You doing okay tonight? How's your Thursday? How's your week? Karuai, you said that you had a long day at work. My day at work was pretty long as well. I had a student get really upset with me because I gave her group a B-, and so that dominated a lot of my day, but it's okay. We're working on it. All right, let's go back to the hideaway.
Mid says Odin split the sea in two. She's always been partial to a tall tale. But there's tall, and then there's tall.
I struggle to believe it myself.
I see your uncle isn't with you.
He stayed with the Enterprise. After our brush with the Einherja, she was in urgent need of repair. And my uncle knows a shipwright in Randalar. We're to join him there when we're ready to sail for Ash.
You sure that's wise? Last I heard, the place was still overrun with Akashic.
Show me a city where that isn't true. Ultima's plague is spreading.
We're running out of time, aren't we? We've done our best to shore up that hideaway. I doubt a few planks will stop what's coming. Still, we'll keep at it. Every little helps, I suppose.
Let's hope so.
I love Otto. As a way of reminder here,
Joshua. Assuming Talia will allow it.
we will go visit Joshua. But first, as a way of reminder here, we just finished up this amazing scene with Clive and with Jill, where he is able to absorb her iconic powers of Shiva. And knowing that Clive is the Mythos, or he is continually referred to as Mythos, this one that embodies all of the myths, all of the stories, all of the icons that exist. We talked about last time how he was unable to take on Barnabas / Odin just by what he had up to that point. He was using brute strength and brute force in order to take on this more elegant, nuanced, dominant, filled with finesse, who moved with elegance and grace instead of brute force. With Titan, it was force against force. It was wrath against power. With Garuda, it was one who was still trying to figure out his control against one that had fully lost control, and it was a battle of control. With Bahamut, you had justice that was on a rampage, and then Clive bringing order to the chaos of that justice. And so he's brought in all of these iconic attributes, and yet it was insufficient to really take on Odin, thinking metaphorically here and allegorically. We discussed how Odin / Barnabas represents to some degree holiness, righteousness, some deep connection of piety with the divine. And so if we're taking divine attributes and placing them on the icons, then Odin's iconic attribute could very well be a sense of holiness, righteousness, that even transcends things like justice and provision, but it's this high level of divinity. And brute force is unable in many ways to take that on. Now, Barnabas's brand of holiness is incredibly dependent on this idea of legalism and law. Legalism and law. In order to please God or the divine, you must conform to the rules. I think that this is a key moment that we talked about, thinking that do you remember when Barnabas split the sea? Well, that's straight from that's a straight allusion from the Old Testament, Hebrew scriptures, of Moses parting the sea. And what did Moses do in his life? What he's known for? He is the lawbringer. He's the one that brought a people that were kind of out of control without any restrictions or any guide paths, guidelines for life. And he brings the 10 Commandments, he brings the Torah, he brings the law, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy to them to help form this community. And the idea was conformity to this law is of absolute greatest importance. And this is how Barnabas works. It is the subjugation and the yielding of one's will to a higher order, a higher will, a higher law that is going to save them. And so his whole deal is the law matters in that it will overtake your will. And the idea is that you then, the person, are going to be subjugated to that so that the divine can fully live in. That's not exclusive to Christianity or Judaism. It's also in a lot of different religions, the idea of sacrifice of self and abstinence so that the divine can enter in. But what happens to free will? What happens to one's own personality? And is the image of God in that element? And that's something that we'll talk about in our last stream. So spoiler alert. Some dude said rewatching the beach scene actually reinforces your claim that Shiva represents balance and harmony. Okay, as he absorbing the icon, Clive starts talking about how he now accepts himself, good and bad, as it's all a part of him, i.e. he has achieved balance. Okay, so I would push back on that. I do agree that he's achieved balance, but does he achieve balance because he's brought together with the one who represents balance and harmony, or has he achieved balance because he's been countered by the one that is his exact opposite in iconic attribute? If Clive is wrath, and if Ifrit is wrath, and He's also absorbed power and justice and provision. Then Jill / Shiva offers a love, a compassion, a mercy that tempers that, and that is how balance is retrieved. So, some dude, I think that we may be using different words and different phrases, but I think that we're kind of hitting around the same thing. I love that part and what you bring out there, that Clive starts talking about how he now accepts himself, achieving some sense of balance. Pretty good stuff. Okay, we're going to talk all night. Let's get some gameplay. How about?
How are you feeling, Joshua?
Better than I was.
But not nearly as well as you should be. Your cuts and burns may have healed, but your body still bears
Exactly, some dude.
every
Yeah,
spell
I agree.
cast.
And what would you have had me do? It was no ordinary foe we faced. It was the Warden of Darkness.
The Warden
Yet
of
still, it was not
Darkness.
enough. The king could have ended me at any moment, but instead chose to toy with me like a curl does a mouse.
You underestimate yourself.
Oh, it was crystal clear. Only one man established his dominance that day, and that man was Barnabas.
Mm.
I'm sorry, brother. That was ill-spoken. It's just, I have never felt so powerless. And when so many are looking to us for strength, perhaps the prince feels the same.
Oh, it's back to Dion. We do love Dion.
What is this place?
Don't move.
Lady of the Rings, that's a great point. I love that.
Here, it's fresh from the well.
This is such a beautiful version of Ascension. This piano version, oh my gosh. Beautiful.
Grandmother told me spirits sometimes get lost, and that the lanterns guide them to their proper place.
This is a
I
key
sang
moment.
River for her when she passed away.
Heal. Yeah.
The fiend works from the shadows. Was it you who guided my hand, then, Ultima? No, not you. This is my doing, my fault, my sin to bear. And for it, I must atone.
Your hurts are healing nicely. It was my poultices that saw you well.
You make them?
And sell them, or try to. Earns me enough for bread, most days.
Forgive me.
There's some good questions in the chat. I want
I
to.
couldn't just leave you lying there.
After this cutscene, we'll talk about it.
You're going then?
Of course. I'm healed. Thanks to you and your poultices.
Will you promise to come back and visit?
Well, Phoenix, it would seem that I owe you my wings.
What a scene, right? Okay, let's chat for just a second about this. I want to talk about this scene, then I want to get to the chat. So here's what we'll do. This scene is just incredibly beautiful and powerful. How Dion awakens and he's able to see really the pain and the destruction that he's caused. You know, he's caused all of this in his pursuit of justice, which is his primary iconic attribute. And I think that that's such a poignant scene where he wakes up and he sees this ritual of remembrance and sending, really, where those who have been lost, their souls are symbolically traveling this river into whatever is next in the beyond. And it's a form of remembrance. It's very, very indicative of almost like the river Styx of the crossing into the afterlife, right? And I think that that's kind of the backdrop for what's going on inside of Dion. Was he right to pursue justice against his family? Yes, he was right, but what was the cost of that? And is there a cost to justice? Is there a consequence and a collateral? And these are the things that Dion is having to deal with here. Was he just a pawn of Ultima in living into this iconic attribute, which, you know, Ultima kind of set in motion, right? What did he have a choice in this? And that certainly gets into some predestination things, which I am currently working on a video on predestination, oddly, since it's such a big thing in JRPGs, and especially as we're excited about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think that there's a lot to be said there coming up. But regardless, this is a character who's asking himself the question of, is it possible to defy fate and yet stay true to yourself? What is the mode of will when you are when you're doing that? And I think that that's such a cool scene. He is healed and he is changed, but what does that mean? So we continue with Dion's story. I want to get to the chat here. Some really cool things. Lady of the Ring is not really relevant to the big Odin Barnabas question, but I love that Bahamut Dion was his strongest adversary. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's good stuff. That it was darkness versus light. Yeah, you get that stalemate sort of battle toward the beginning of the game. Mo, you ask, what would you say that Clive is also achieving balance by absorbing the powers of other icons? If the icons represent emanations of God, does their collective power as Mythos equate to God? Okay, so this is kind of a question that goes into some late game sort of stuff. My short answer now, though we're going to discuss this a lot more in our last 2 lectures in this series, is yes. To some degree, there is balance by absorbing the powers of other icons. One of the things that we've kind of talked about, I used the chapter, Deuteronomy chapter 30 from the Torah, the Hebrew Bible, where Moses says to the people, the word of God is near you. It's in your mouth, on your tongue, and in your heart. And these two are kind of embodiments of that image of God that we talk about in ancient Near Eastern culture. And he says, the word of God is near you. It's in your mouth and in your heart. So it's not far from you. So I've set before you life and prosperity, and death and destruction. So choose life that you may will. And there's this idea in the midst of the law that you have a will. A will. What we see, to answer your question, Mo, what we see with each of these dominants is almost an out of balance view of God. To Bahamut, God is justice, and the image of God in him is justice. To Benedicta Garuda, it is control. To Ifrit, until his kind of redemption moment, Clive's redemption moment in the Apothecary, it is wrath, it's revenge, it is vengeful. And yet the assimilation of each of these icons creates a little bit closer parity to what may be a balanced view of divine harmony, which I think is the goal. And if you followed my account for any amount of time, any of the games that I stream, this is something that I talk about. It's not necessarily elevating one idea of God or another, but it's bringing those things into synchronicity. A common question that I get in my class is, especially when we're talking about some New Testament ideology in my kind of New Testament focused classes, they say, how can the God of the New Testament be so loving and yet be the same God depicted as the Old Testament, which seems so wrathful? And I ask them not to choose either or, but what does it mean to bring those things in harmony? What are the moments where the Hebrew Bible, in some ways, depicts God as compassionate? And this is a very simplistic thing. I understand that there's gaps in the logic here, but compassion, whereas the New Testament, where's the wrathful side of God? And what I think we begin to see is this harmonious unity that begins to happen. Does their collective powers Mythos equate to God? I would say so, or at least this game's depiction of a full-formed God that has disparate parts and mother crystals. Okay, some talk of the piano. I'd be interested to see how Dion's embodiment of justice will be affected by this treatment. Potatoes, that's a great point. He doesn't deserve this care, so he receives mercy in spite of justice. Claymore wants to see more of the ruined Dominion and the entire game in Balestia. I hear you, bro. Some dude, Potatoes, some dude saying to Potatoes, that's true, but he does at least acknowledge his sins. Dion coming to the same conclusion about Ultima that he did with his father. Lady of the Rings, yes, that they both acted of their own volition and have to take accountability for it. Yes. I don't know, Dion and Odin kind of express different forms of justice to me. Okay. Yeah, with Odin, I think that we can see a holy justice, like a holy righteousness of like, this is, it is, I think that, especially in English, language fails us because these are so similar here, but the holiness aspect is like a divine way is beyond our way. Whereas justice, I think, has to do a bit more with this idea of bad is punished and good is rewarded. That there's equality, balance, again, to use the scales analogy. I do, but can't find an app to pinpoint it. Also interesting storytelling. The scene cuts away before Dion can reply, "You'll visit," right? As someone who doesn't know the story, that kind of foreshadowing suggests that he says yes, but won't, can't later. Oh, Potatoes. Look at this guy. Honestly, predestination or specifically trying to escape fate is a really prevalent theme in this game too. Oh, 100%. Yeah. Maybe something like blind justice for Odin, more moral justice for Bahamut. Yeah, that's a pretty good idea. I like that. Odin's about a divine justice, righteousness. Dion's is a reflection of something else. Yeah, y'all answered this. I didn't have to answer this. I would characterize Dion as criminal justice. All right. Concerned with the punishment of the wicked. Okay, I like that. That's good. Criminal justice versus divine justice. For simplicity's sake, I am still going to call Dion's Bahamut's justice as justice and Odin's justice as like holy law. All right, that's man. Again, love this class. You guys are awesome. Absolutely great. I would say Bahamut focuses on justice in the sense of doing what's right, whereas Odin represents maybe divine, objective morality. Man, because what God does or says is right because God did or said them. Yeah, that's the whole idea of the law. Man, again, if I could just like bottle your energy and like inject it into my students in class, I love it. You're here because you want to be. They're here because they want to credit. So I get that. Okay, let's get back to it. We're never going to get through this game if we keep chatting like this. I love it.
Perhaps he can find an answer.
Truth. Yes, that's a great point.
I see no reason to wait.
Described as truth.
Then neither do I.
I can think of a few, but I doubt they'll stop you. You will take your medicine.
Of course, Lady Tyre.
Set on leaving already, are you?
Now, Mo, with your assertion that it's from a mythological perspective of truth, can you say more about that? What does it mean for that to be the truth of the divine, perhaps? Knowledge and wisdom are his primary goal. Okay, please say more about that. Because as we move toward the ending of the Barnabas Odin sequence, we're going to be needing some of that. Please say a little bit more about what you mean by that.
The professor! I'll go and tell you come in.
While you're plotting our course, I'll be in the shelves with your lawsman. I wish to pick his brains about Ultima.
Then I'll talk to Karen about supplies for the journey. They may not be easy to come by in Ash.
Everybody, a simple logistical thing right here. Something to note, some of the people that I'm talking to, MJ Gallagher included, are commenting on YouTube, and you won't be able to see that chat in the Twitch chat, but I've included a chat bar on the screen. So if you're wondering who I'm talking to, then you can check out the chat that's actually on the screen, not in the Twitch chat. Just FYI.
Your brother's body won't take much more of this recklessness. You know that, don't you?
I do.
Okay, that was so good, you guys. Man, I love so much when y'all pop off in the chat like that. It is so good. Before we get carried away with anything, I definitely want to run and go grab some potions, because I know that I'll forget them, but I for some reason thought about them right then. And if I need to upgrade my weapons, then I'll do that real quick.
If you're gonna buy some, be quick about it.
Okay, well, I guess...
Is that all?
Oh, wait, about potions here. I was looking at weapons. Ugh.
Clive.
You ever do that? Your brain just, like, fogs for a second?
You're rubbing me blind, you know. Come again. Oh, don't. I'm not much bothered either way.
Not much bothered either way.
What do you want?
Ice brand reforged. Yes, sir.
I do say so myself.
Yeah. Okay. We don't need that one. Rune belt. I feel okay with this. Oh, I can't do that one. I need the rune belt +4 and the flawless scroll. Okay. Ah, that'd be helpful.
No scratches, right?
And we can
You can
improve
thank me
that.
later. That it?
Or I'll thank you now. Oh wait, we can change Joshua's clothing. I haven't done that. Oh, Joshua. Ah. See, I love his original attire, but let's do all special attire. How about that? That'd be fun. Let's just change everybody's, you know? And my weapon, I'm happy with our weapon. Claymore, you got some stuff to say. I think Dion's character arc holistically, rather than just those displayed at certain points. Dion could show the element of piousness, piety, and justice. Okay, I like this. Dion's about forgiveness. Odin is more imperative and expresses more emphasis on punishment. Oh, I like that. I like that. You believe yourselves worthy of salvation and so on, where Dion is like, I've come to save you, pointing out the crimes of Annabella against her family and countrymen. Hey, that's a really great point. I love that. I love that. And I think that we're definitely hitting on this idea of justice and law or truth or holiness are both sides of the same coin. Criminal justice, human justice versus divine justice. And so for simplicity's sake, like I said, I'm going to use the words justice and law or holiness in there, but I think that you are absolutely right there. And I think that Dion's arc, as a result of justice that led to destruction and collateral damage, is part of his own redemption. El Tigre Duarte, what's up? Welcome to the chat. Can't believe we're not going to hear this game's music for the Game of the Year Orchestra. Listen, that's the biggest crime of it not being nominated for Game of the Year. Like, truly, like, I live for that moment when my favorite games are getting that symphonic treatment. So I guess we'll just have to go to Distant Worlds, you know? Has anybody ever been to a Distant Worlds concert, Final Fantasy concert?
I was wondering when
Symphony?
you'd arrive. Please tell me you've come to take our young prodigy here off my hands.
I'm not here for Mid. I need information on Ash.
Then why not ask Molly if you can look in one of her ovens? Go on.
As soon as the Enterprise is ready, we'll be setting out for Drake's Spine. And we're going to need a safe place to land.
Preferably one that won't see my ship blown to shit and splinters.
If it were that easy, do you think Waloed would have resisted invasion for so long? Very
Claymore,
little
great
is known
point.
Of Ash, and the information we do have is spotty and outdated. We have the good King Barnabas to thank for that. Waloed's borders have been closed to outsiders since the day he seized the throne. If there is anywhere safe to land, you won't find it on my map.
Then tell us what we will find. I'm sure you know better than we do.
But no splinters.
But no splinters.
All right. If it will get you out of my hair.
All right, everybody, time for a
But interrupt me.
Vivian Ninetails lecture. Love her. This is how I want my lectures to go.
Barnabas Tharmr, the one they call the last king. Understand him, and you will understand the kingdom of Waloed. Barnabas was only a boy when he arrived from beyond the southern seas.
Wow.
And barely a man before he united the ragged tribes of Ash. And having unleashed them upon the formidable Veldamark, he set his throne upon the ancient kingdom's ruins. The victory sent shockwaves around Valisthea. Tales of Odin's might spreading through every court, parlor, and drinking hole in the realm. Note that this was in the year 843, and that the king still sits upon his throne some 40 years later, quite untouched by time. Waloed's recent inaction left many wondering if Odin had lost his appetite for war. And yet here we are. The Einherjar was committed to the fray, a bold declaration of intent. Orcs swarm around Drake's Fang, and throngs of Akashic haunt Canva's streets. Though how precisely the havoc they wreak serves Waloed remains unclear. Regardless, if the order to attack truly came from King Barnabas, then one thing is certain. Waloed has achieved the impossible, and made bedfellows of beastmen and the ether-addled alike. All of which is a roundabout way of saying that you will be in unknown territory when you set foot on Ash. Much of the continent has already been lost to the Blight, and what few ports remain will be fiercely guarded. And that is to say naught of its natural defenses. Offshore currents will cast an ill-equipped ship out to sea one moment, and dash it against the rocks the next. But then the Enterprise is anything but ill-equipped. And Mid has made land there before. Now, if only there were someone with an intimate knowledge of the Shadow Coast, and where a daring gentleman might put ashore. You see, Clive, you had the answer all along.
Do you think you can get us back to that beach, Mid?
Picked you up from it, didn't I? Not that it were easy. The currents were a right bastard. But then, if it wasn't hard, it wouldn't be worth doing, would it?
Well said. Thank you, Lady Vivian.
If a few morsels of common knowledge and a sprinkling of tavern talk are worthy of your thanks, I wonder what genuine intelligence might earn me.
Probably more visits. Mid, I need everyone in the ale hall now. I'll fetch Joshua from the shelves.
Aye, aye, Captain.
Yeah, he's the king. Barnabas is looking good for an old guy, old fart, as you say. That's great. He does have that incorruptible God's, what'd you say? God's chosen moisturizer. I love that. That's great. Noah lived to like 900. Yeah, he did. I think Methuselah has the record at 969 in the Old Testament. But is he though? Ooh, is he incorruptible? There's a question. 950.
I have no reason to assume otherwise.
Well, then that changes everything.
He lived 950. But didn't Methuselah live 969? I think it was something like that. Maybe I'm just like a terrible person. I just assume
Clive,
it's 69.
You must listen to this. Rosemary, tell
Somebody Google it. Let me know in the chat.
When we spoke before on the divinity of Ultima,
Oh, this is important.
it
Let's watch
inspired
this.
me to delve deeper into the subject. And what I discovered appears to agree with the findings of His Grace.
You will recall that my quest to uncover Ultima's origins began with the mural at Phoenix Gate. But while I've always known it to be important, its secrets have heretofore eluded me. Now, however, I believe I know where to find the more complete example. One that will reveal all we seek.
It's weird, the little things that I remember,
Have
right?
you ever in your travels chanced to hear of the Circle of Malleus? I would think not. If you
Circle of Malleus. Okay, this is an important thing. If you have no idea about this or are new to the stream, Circle of Malleus, we're going to talk a little bit about them tonight, maybe in the next one as well, but this is a big one.
have, but there was once a time when the faith flourished, the oldest known religion in the Twins, and though its popularity eventually waned on Storm, hints of its dogma remain embedded in more modern faiths such as the Crystalline Orthodox.
Wait, you said it waned on Storm. What of Ash?
Religious monuments are often torn down or repurposed when new faiths rise to prominence. But if no new faith arose, then perhaps the ancient temples might still stand. And so, you see now why I must accompany you to Walud.
LT
It would
Gray.
appear the past still has much to teach us, though in this case, it would not have been possible without the musings of Moss. To think that you carried a copy of my old mentor's chronicles all along. I am relieved to discover it in good hands.
I shall guard it with my life.
Joshua, if you're finished here, join me in the ale hall. I need to speak to everyone before we leave.
Right away.
LT Gray, the Ultimania does give a lot more to Barnabas's source, Barnabas's character as well as Sleipnir. I would be interested in you if you wanted to put some of that stuff in the chat for us to talk about. That would be awesome. So that'd be great. It's not readily available to me. I could go off memory, but why Malleus like Malleus? Good question, Clay. Mo, however, he spends in Norse mythology, Odin is a god of war, death, sorcery, many other things. Yeah. However, he spends much of his time seeking knowledge by traveling the 9 realms and having his ravens bring news to him each day, gaining wisdom by learning what he can and obtaining secret truths through sacrifice, such as placing his eye in the well of Mimir or by hanging himself on the world tree. Yeah, in this way, by growing his own knowledge and wisdom, he comes closer and closer to universal truths. Who boy, yeah, I see where you're going with this now. Interestingly, he is not known as a deity who delivers divine justice. In fact, he actively does not pick sides in the affairs of men. That is interesting. In the context of 16, Odin is a weapon tool of Harpocrates, can you please stop talking? We're in the middle of talking. We're being interrupted by the game here. In the context of 16, Odin is a weapon tool of Ultima who is acting upon the truth that mankind's conscious will is the thing that will probably bring about its eventual destruction. Okay. I want to comment on one thing there. Odin is a weapon tool of Ultima who is acting upon the truth that mankind's conscious will is the thing that will probably bring about its eventual destruction. Are you talking about mankind's destruction there? Or are you talking about Ultima's destruction? Can you give me some clarity on the its? But I do think that that's really a fascinating piece as far as the Norse mythology stuff here, especially because this is a pursuit of truth, right? For Odin. And if we were to synchronize this a little bit. I want to read that one last part one more time. He is not known as a deity who delivers divine justice. In fact, he actively does not pick sides in the affairs of men. Yeah, and I think in some ways, Barnabas and Odin represent this this bringer of the divine will. Again, it is this pietistic subjugation of self that allows for divine truth, will, guidance to kind of come down. Now, I think it's really interesting to see the similarities between this and the Norse myths. I think it's also key, really, really important to show the distinctions there as well, because they're playing on this. They're playing on this traditional Odin myth in a way that is just really, really neat. I think. My apologies, mankind's destruction. This ties with Ragnarok, where mankind's discretions are the herald of the apocalypse. Yeah. Mo, did you play God of War, the new God of War series of games? I thought of you several times when I was playing through that game. Malleus similar to Malice. Interesting, Lady of the Rings. What would you make of that? Pet theory of mine, crystalline orthodox. Crystalline Orthodox is actually a long-standing rather than corrupted version of the Circle of Malleus. Ooh, that's fascinating to think about. Methuselah is the grandfather of Noah, and if the genealogies of Genesis are accurate, would have died in the flood. Ergo, he might have lived longer if not for an act of God. Oh, potatoes. Deep dive there. Maybe something to do with a certain upcoming boss's name. Possibly. So the Circle of Malleus is an allusion to the fact that Odin's a tool, and that he enjoys hammering the point to no end in his pre-boss battle sermons. It's a choice to give him the name Barnabas. Leon, what would you say about that? A choice to give him the name Barnabas. Say more. These are great points. I love this. Love it. Ragnarok.
My apologies.
By now you've all heard where we're going and why. So I won't bother you with the boring details, only the important ones. If we attempt to approach Stone here by sea, there's a good chance we'll be sighted and full prey.
Yeah, Mo, you gotta play
So instead, we'll disembark on the
God of
southwest
War
coast and
Ragnarok.
wait for Drake's
It
spy on
is.
foot.
You would love it. It's an interesting take on the Norse myths for
Highly
sure.
likely the entirety of Ash is under the rule of Ultima.
Some interesting interpretations. I think that you'll really appreciate it.
As well as slow our march and require supplies which may be difficult to obtain. Only Joshua and I will be going. And a scout. Preferably a good one. Gav, do you know of any?
You bet your ass I do. Might still borrow some of Lady Vivian's maps, though. Just in case, like.
Once you've dropped us off at the Shadow Coast, you need to retreat into neutral waters. Fly merchant colors and stay inconspicuous. If you sense any danger at all, you leave us behind and return to Storm.
Inconspicuous is my middle name. But like hell am I leaving anyone behind. The ship ain't going nowhere till your scurvy mugs are smiling on deck.
Jill, the Enterprise will appear a tempting target for royalists and pirates alike. You're to stop anyone boarding.
Don't worry. I'll keep the ship and her crew safe. You'll be needing passage home, after all.
But... very well.
If there are no questions,
See you, Mo.
all of the docks.
Have a great night or maybe morning. I'm not sure what time it is where you are. But thanks for hopping in. Everybody, go give this guy a follow and definitely buy his books. Norse myths and Greek myths that influenced Final Fantasy VII. 2 different books. Thanks for hopping in. We'll talk, pal. Bye. El Tigre, Ultima first appears before Barnabas the year Joshua is born. Oh, that's a really interesting point. What do you make of that, Tigre? Also, I'm a little rusty on my Spanish. What does your name mean? Is that the Tiger something? Duarte? I don't know what Duarte means. At least that are not translated. Yeah, I'm not super familiar with what's written in the Ultimania, other than what Audrey has put out on Twitter. I got to meet Audrey at the LA event, the launch of 16, and super, super nice person. I kind of followed her before that, but really had like just utmost respect for her. I got to tell her that in one of my classes I got to use some of her tweets to convey a lecture one time, and she was like, "I get to be used in a college class." It was kind of fun. So I was like, "Yeah, you make my job easy." I imagine she gets a lot of ridicule with some of her Rebirth translations, not because of her translation, but because of what they're saying. Crazy. Okay, the Tiger, Duarte is your last name. Okay. Yes. As long as we're throwing out random ideas, is there any deeper meaning to Clive having so many monikers over the game? Something I've noticed, but can't really think of any point being made. Perhaps has to do with him being Mythos and thus embodying those various monikers. Okay, that's fair. That's a really interesting idea. Not only is he adopting these icons, but he's also taking on this kind of the stories of the people as well. That's interesting. Unrelated, but the point, or at least why the put of emphasis on Potion Girl, is that she represents mercy and grace, especially to Dion when he doesn't deserve it. Oh man, yes. But it is given to him. That's part of his arc. Yeah. Oh man, grace is a big thing when you have sinned or acted erroneously. To receive mercy is a high form of grace indeed.
Is something wrong? Not at all. Honestly. Can't a man wish his friend farewell?
Oh,
Just wanted to let you know that I'll keep things in order while you're off saving the world.
of course you will,
I'll
Otto.
hold you to that.
Bless him. Hey, let's do it. It's time. If it's not obvious by what I mean, Clive goes by Wyvern, Phoenix's first shield, Sid the Outlaw, Mythos, and Logos. Yikes. You right. Look at all those side quests that are being left untouched. That's why we're struggling level-wise. It's okay. It's okay. We'll play cleanup for a stream. I feel like we'll do a final exam review stream, right? The Shadow Coast. Oh, y'all, I love this part. This part of the game's so stinking good.
Reckon it'll be a long walk to the capital if we follow the cliffs. I'll scout ahead, see if I can't find us an inland route.
Clive,
A word.
there's something I've been meaning to ask. You took her Eikon, didn't you?
Yes, I did. She understood.
Oh, she understood. Understood that you decided to save the world all on your own, and that you'd die without her power. How dare you make her choose? You knew damn well she'd never refuse you. But I will. You can't keep pushing us away, Clive. The world is ours to save, not yours.
I used my gift because I thought it was the right thing to do.
And you truly believe this will save you? Will save us all?
I do.
Then so be it. Just don't forget, you're not alone.
This is a rare moment when Joshua is a brother and not just the Phoenix.
Did I miss something?
Only that Joshua didn't.
I don't get it.
Oh, Gav. I like the scene. It really does convey this humanity of Joshua. Somebody said it's interesting that Clive doesn't retaliate. Notice this is right after the Jill sequence, right? He's absorbed this idea of balance, harmony, and love.
Always wanted to visit Ash.
We're in Waluda territory now. Don't expect a warm welcome.
Oh, I don't know, Clive. That castle over there looks inviting enough.
Shall we sample its inhabitants' hospitality?
I love this scene, or I just love this area. It's so eerie. And the music, you know. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Japanese version of that scene, so I would have to.
Remember what I said about warm welcomes, Gav?
Warm welcomes, Gav.
this place is as dead as Grieger's ghost.
Dead as Grieger's ghost. Is it? Cause here's some bad guys. Burn them. Let's do it. Did not burn them as much as I would have liked. Come to me, come to me. Grieger having a ghost implies that she's not divine. I got it. I take Grieger to be very similar to a very human saint that has been deified in some ways. And so the legacy of Grieger tells a story, perhaps, even though she was... Whoa, hello. I was reading the chat. Forgot I was fighting. Ow, jerk. Oh, that guy was about to hit me. Oh, we got potions, lady. Don't you worry. We got potions this time. Do you know what reminded me? Potion Girl. Seeing little Potion Girl exhibiting mercy to Dion was like, oh, it's time for potions, you know? Some dude, that's really cool. That would make sense for Lady Grieger. And certainly the statues where she's standing over the sleeping dragon. What's up, Ansem Swise? What's going up? What's going on? Not going up. Sorry. Okay, I want to save all my stuff because there's a hunt up here that we gotta kill. The midpoint of the journey is death. Death is not the end of life, but a transition from one phase of one's life to the next phase. Oh, man. Leon, we're going to need that energy when we get to Rebirth. We're really going to need that energy when we get to Rebirth, I'm telling you. I am currently working on another video essay, a ProfNoctis Explains, that is going to play into some of that, just FYI. Okay, let's... Are we speaking of the good is forspoken? What's up, Jeffrey? I'm not sure what you're saying. Oh, Ansem, thank you so much for popping in to say hi. We'll miss you tonight. But whatever you're doing, I hope you have a good time. Have a good night. Or good day. Hey, I hope you have fun, whatever you're doing. Keep being you. Keep killing it. I'm just lurking in the background, trying not to fill the chat with walls of text. Hey, listen. Your walls of text allow us fodder. So, don't dominate chat, but certainly don't shy away from it either. It's like in class. It's I love it when people talk, offer their stuff. We love the walls of text. Just allow some people to respond too. You're good. Oh crap, this is the time. Forspoken. I've not played Forspoken, should I? Maybe a Christmas break thing. Nobody be a Barnabas in chat. Oh crap, I'm not ready for this. Y'all ready for some testing of professional Noctis here? Because this is not going to go well.
Oh look, it's the king of the castle.
It's the king of the castle. Oh boy, this is gonna be brutal. Get him, Togo! Ow, oh my gosh. Dodge, dodge, dodge! It's difficult. It's not like the worst thing in the world. I do die more, but a lot of times my deaths are because I forgot potions. Ow. Ow. If Frieza and Shake had Shrek had a baby, I like it. Okay. Whoa, ow, ow, ow. Nice. Oh, no. No. Dodge. Oh no! Keep healing! Ah! Ow, you jerk. You jerk. The potion spam, yeah. Ah! I had to potion spam it. It was a trick. Dodge. Better dodge. Crap. That death ray is no joke. Okay. Back it up. Toggle, kill. Don't let him do it. Crap. Come on! Up! There we go, there we go. Get in there. Ah, what am I doing? Come on, let's go. Come on. Get in there. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Come on. Almost got him, almost got him, almost got him. Come on, get him!
Enough.
Got it, baby! First try. That is a professional Noctis moment. What's up? Oh my gosh. Yes. Level up. 72? Heck yeah. Look at that. Flawless loincloth. That's right.
Your reign is at an end.
And your loincloth is mine, apparently. Well, that was exciting. Used all of our potions, but... Enough! Your reign is at an end. Ultimania stuff. Alright, Tigre's back at it. Barnabas awakens during a war with a rival religious tribe when his mother is killed and Sleipnir unintentionally awakens his power with his powers. Oh, he's 18 when he awakens, I think. Heck yeah. Ah, yes, we might need a new loincloth after that. I will say some little things about Odin, is that he's not a god of death. Hel is the goddess of death, where she resides in Niflheim. Odin is a psycho-comp, which is, in a way, true for Barnabas. Heyo! Yeah, so what would you say your interpretation of what their Square Enix is doing with Odin Barnabas in this interpretation would be then? What do you think?
Where the hell are the royalists?
Seems you were right about that welcome after all, Clive.
Ah, notice those ravens. Eyes of Odin. I love it. Oh.
Aye.
Does it, Jeffrey? Okay. You're selling me on this game. I didn't super...
Is the whole of Ash fallen into Ultima's hands?
That's no peace delegation. We should send a warning to the others.
No. My uncle will have an eye on the coast. I trust he'll find a way to entertain any uninvited guests. Our mark is Drake's spine, and there's a lot of road between us and it. We press on to stone here.
Aye, you never know. It might not be a nest of slobbering monsters.
I don't know why I love this part of the game. I just
Clive,
fills my heart for some reason.
you must go on ahead without me. This stronghold is as old as Phoenix Gate, perhaps older. It may yet hide Ultima's remaining secrets, and if we are to best him, they must be unearthed.
All right. Stay out of trouble.
I always do.
Mostly.
Mostly.
Leon, say more about the breakup of Paul and Barnabas and how that relates to
Sure
this.
about
Where do you
this.
see that here? That's
About
interesting.
leaving my brother on his own. Of course. Mostly.
Nah, Jeffrey, you don't have to worry about that. Forspoken looks really good, though. I think it's only like $15 now.
Lady Vivian's map is so old, it's hard to
I got
tell
you,
which
boo.
way's up. But if I'm right, we're not far from a village called Isla.
Isla.
Go in there, resupply, and wait for Joshua.
Yeah, we do need to resupply, don't we? I wish we could have seen Waloed without the purple sky, right? Agreed. Wait, what are we doing? Walking like fools when we got birds.
Fly, Ambrosia.
Odin for you. Yeah.
Oh, this place reeks like a moble's arsehole. Though I'm guessing it's not the smell that'll kill us.
Ha ha ha! Look at this. I'm so fast, they can't even get me. Alright, let's get off of this and kill these guys. I can chocobo drift all day, baby. Ah. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Didn't know there was a word for that. Could also extend to Birds of the Grim Reaper. Okay. No! I hate when I get them out of their battle arena. Boo. Boo. After all that, the crab just runs back 3 steps. I hate when that happens. That'll teach you to walk away from me. The Endless. Yeah, I out of bounds a few hunts one time, and that was hyper frustrating. Oh my gosh. Nice try. You jerk. I got you. Not the hunt. Oh yeah, it was a bad hunt too. Like I died several times already on this particular hunt. I forget which one it was. But led him accidentally out of bounds and had to start the whole thing over. I had him down to like 10% too. Ooh, worship of the planet itself is common. That's really interesting, LT Gray. I have got to, oh my goodness. I've got to read through that Ultimania when it's translated to English. Ba ba ba. No, you don't. I do not care for the Adamantitan. Give me the Adamantus in Final Fantasy XV all day long. You jerk. Come on, Toggle. We're never gonna beat him. We're going for it though. We do be trying. Oh, come on. There we go. Get that parry in, boys. Jerk! Freaking turtle! Okay, I saw some talk about Mario Wonder up there. I love Mario Wonder. I really, really love it. I think that it should be in the conversation for Game of the Year. I have no illusion that it would win it, but I'm a big fan of Mario Wonder. Fly, Ambrosia. Like, why can I Chocobo Drift? I know that I am a broken record at this point talking about the Chocobo Drift, but... like, why? Lindworm. Yeah, I don't super love that either, some dude. It's okay, but... Turtle. I like turtles. I don't like turtles. Good grief. Again, I am very underleveled, so everything's taking a little bit longer than I'd like it to. Whoa, look at that parry! What? Get on my level, Lindworm. The other day, I hopped in somebody else's stream, and was watching them play a game, and they gave me a shout out and, did a recent clip. And do you know what the clip was? It was me yelling, screaming, Press R3 to dog. Hit R3 to dog. Yeah, some dude, I am rocking all of the accessories. R3 to dog! Hit R3 to dog! That's a good toggle. Okay, let's go this way now. Alright, get on your freaking bird, man.
Let's go. Fly, Ambrosia.
Fly through these narrow passages, Ambrosia. Avoid the mud crabs. Just avoid them. That clip is really funny. Hit R3 to dog! We got stuff to do. We can't go around killing crabs all day. Oh, this is epic. I think part of the reason why this game took me so many hours to play the first time was because I kept taking pictures.
Bahamut's breath.
Bahamut's breath.
Don't look down, Torgal.
Woo! That creature is majestic.
That must be Aslan.
You're hanging with a friend watching her play games but don't die? Are you watching them play Final Fantasy XVI, Racy? Are you getting the beginning and the end of this game all at once? Oh, I have to press R2. R2 to door. Y'all are on it. So good. Hey,
think, Clive?
CLT Gray, thank you for hopping in. It was nice to meet you. Come in anytime, bro. Oh boy, big sequence coming up. Yes. She's playing a horror game, but she wants to play 16 in a minute soon. Your education does continue.
I wouldn't say nothing.
I wouldn't say nothing. Time to cool. No quarter. I don't even know what I'm doing. I'm just pushing buttons. I am just pushing buttons at this point. There's no strategy. Bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it works out. Okay. Stop hitting the lightning rod. Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing? That was a bad choice is what that was. Hooah! New enemies.
Here they come.
Here they come. Ha! Ha! We are slaying so many Akashic right now. So many. Oh no, don't die to these guys. You killed the giant guy in first try. Don't die to the grunts. More? Then don't. No, you don't. He was about to eat me. Clive never dies. Not really. He's like a phoenix. Not good. Oh, no. No, you don't. Fine hound. Oh yeah, it's over for you. It is over for you. Overkill. Anyone left? I guess everyone's dead. Oh, dang it. At least he doesn't have a cannon. I can dodge an axe. Can't dodge a cannon. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Ow. I didn't dodge that wrench. Oh, ow. That was pain. Oh, you thought! You thought wrong. Oh! Cannon Boy's much weaker cousin. No one wins with Cannon Boy. Wise words. Oh man, that was close. It was spicy. You jerk. Enemies slain. That's right. So that's a good night for battle, y'all. It's a good night. Feeling good. I'm feeling good. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun.
Gav. Gav! Don't tell me there's more of the bastards. Oh, fuck.
Here it is. Killer shot.
you come to watch, Odin?
Bound for stone here. Good.
Good thing we got that
My
loincloth.
master awaits you in the capital, though I cannot allow you to attend him in your present state.
And how are you going to stop us?
Why, with this!
Mmm.
What did you do?
A wall of text. Leon is Odin confirmed.
If the vessel would see the path opened, it has but to ask. I shall see that my master's prize is made presentable.
Notice the blue eyes completely in control.
Clive, would you mind telling me what the fuck just happened?
Listen, Gav, first day, we fight these things all the time. Odin's ravens. Little bug net.
Oh, you've got to be. How are we supposed to get through that?
We seek an audience with the king. If His Majesty wants me to come and ask him, then that is exactly what I'll do.
Before you go practicing your petition, we don't even know where the fucker went. How about we cool our heads and think this through, eh?
Hmm?
All right.
Maybe there's something here we can use.
So, this may be like readily apparent, but one of the comparisons we've made is Odin, Barnabas, as Moses in some ways, and Moses brings the law, and the law was a constraint on the human will. It was an idea that it's going to direct humanity's will in a very specific way, right? And in so doing, it does, while there is a choice, it seeks to constrain that choice so that a person is made holy, holy like God is holy, and pure as God is pure, clean. There's cleanliness codes and purity codes and holiness codes in the book of Leviticus, and I think that that's a really interesting here. So you have a physical wall that is also kind of seeped in or caused them to kind of be stuck. Something else that I want to point out here, way over there, if you look into this, into these two spires over here, you have this giant tower. And one of the things that happens in the book of Genesis is God, and this is an ancient Near Eastern Babylonian story that the Hebrews kind of co-opted for themselves. You've got the Tower of Babel narrative. And what was the Tower of Babel? The Tower of Babel was this tower that the humans were building to reach the divine and become like gods, basically in their own power, become like gods. And God looked at all of the other gods in ancient Near Eastern culture and said, Babylonian gods, looked at them and said, let us go down there and mess this up, basically. If they reach us, they'll become like us, and we can't have that. So God destroyed the Tower of Babel, and he dispersed the people to all the ends of the world. In fact, the exact phrase says, if they come together and they do this, then nothing will be impossible for them. So the God in Genesis chapter 11 is a kind of a reworking of this other earlier myth that happens, and it is this idea that there's this divine struggle with humanity that says we've got to keep them suppressed and down and know their role. The first 11 chapters of the book of Genesis are a really interesting study that we don't have time here today for, but I see these two things because this is what Barnabas is doing. It's this, again, subjugation of the will. Your will has to be broken in order for the divine will to be taking hold, right? So, yeah, potatoes, it sounds like you are getting an answer from some people in the chat, so we love that. Okay, we're going to climb up here. I think there's some enemies up here that we're going to kill real quick. I think. I could be wrong, but maybe. The sins of Zemeckis does play into this.
Then let's find somewhere to sit down and look at the map.
Oh, hello. Sounds like the chat's answered that question. This was another reason I thought of balance for Shiva. No doubt Clive, maybe the first time cool its head, doesn't rush forward. Yeah, I like that. And again, I do think that the Clive that we have here is a bit different from the Clive that we... Oh, there's stairs. The Clive that we have elsewhere when... before he's kind of assimilated all of the icon and iconic attributes into himself. Where am I going? Where? Torgal.
This is no time to ride.
Okay. It's nearby. You know me. Oh, it's in the tavern. L3 to dog. Is it L3 to dog? Oh. Torgal. Maybe it's over here. It wants me to explore, it looks like. Yeah, L3 to dog is not... Oh.
So did I.
Thought we got them all too. There are some notes to look around for. Yeah, we'll do that after this spot. Hey Ruby, how are you? We did talk about some important things.
Please, no.
Miss.
Easy, easy. We're not turned, all right?
She's kind of a merry figure, isn't she?
My thanks, kind travelers.
Ruby, that's a good comparison.
Forgive me for asking, but what went on here?
We'd all
started when the skies changed. The elders said it was the Arche.
Okay.
One by one, people went mad. Minds taken by the ether. Till only I remained. By then, I was too far along to run. And then the nights came. And I didn't know what to do.
Hmm.
And this...
Skellum, what's up?
Okay.
Thank you for the sub. Appreciate you.
Just a story. Something our grandparents told us when we misbehaved.
Hmm.
About how the heavens would grow dark.
Listen to
before
this.
Land took her last breath.
The end of the world. You said the others went mad. But where did they go?
Ruby, we will. Skellum, how you doing? Welcome.
They all left. Drawn east to the tower.
Hmm.
To reverie. The elders, the healer, the blacksmith, my husband.
My husband.
You thinking he did this?
Of course. Who else could it be? You were in Canva. You saw what he did to the people.
But then what about her? How come her nut hasn't cracked?
Hmm.
The baby, perhaps? Could be protecting her from the ether. I can't think of any other explanation.
You mean... it's a bearer?
It won't matter what it is once Ultima's magic takes hold. Time's running out.
Hmm.
This tower. That's where we'll find the king.
I've got some things to say about that in just a second, but first.
I knew it. It's the same as Phoenix Gate. Which means at the end of these stairs should be...
This really could be a horror movie, Ruby. Yeah. Waloed is terrifying. The aftermath of a nation and its leader. A land lost to war and ruin. Yeah, that's madness.
The mural is complete.
Hmm.
Ultima and this vessel, Ifrit.
Ifrit. There's Leviathan.
Ramu, Shiva, Titan, Bahamut, Odin. Even Leviathan the Lost is here. But where is the Phoenix?
Hmm.
By the founder.
There's a couple other spots, Kurai. We'll get to this. Ah, Joshua.
So that's what you want, isn't it, Ultima?
Yikes. Okay, cutscene's still going. They're just building more and more things for us to talk about.
I'm not asking, Gav. I need you to stay with Edda. What? I must do this alone. If I don't return, you're to find Joshua and make for the Enterprise. Understood? Aye.
Aye.
Don't you go dying on me. Sid's name suits your miserable mug better than mine.
Don't worry. I haven't finished with it yet.
Tons we can talk about here as we make our way to this tower. And pick up some notes around the town and the tavern and all this stuff. You notice that when Edda is talking about what happened,
then wherever he goes, they'll follow, and so will I.
And so will I. When she's talking about what happened, she's recalling kind of these stories that she heard of the end of the world, this kind of apocalypse, talking about how when the time comes, the sky is going to darken. There's all this kind of stuff that's going to happen, and this is what it is. And she even says it was these were stories that were told to us. Is it blipping for anyone else? Kuruai, thank you for the warning. I'm not getting any notifications that it's blipping on my end. Usually I get notifications for that. Buffering but not dying. Okay. Yeesh. Okay. Okay, we're going to hang in there. So she tells stories about how these apocalyptic eschatological tales were told to them when they would misbehave. And I think that just really reinforces again kind of how do families, how do religious groups, how does society create narratives to, in some ways, create control, to direct and redirect the will of humanity? This is something that my students really struggle with when I talk about this, because every institution, every ideal society, every community, country, has a series of or set of laws, and these laws are built on mythos, right? They're built on stories. Somebody does this thing, therefore we create a law to systematize it, and that begins to push people in a preferred operative direction. And that's what we see in this part. Barnabas is talking about the subjugation of will to a higher will, a higher law, higher truth. Edda is talking about stories that are used to strike fear and promote good behavior. It reminds me of some of my childhood, some of my upbringing. Have I talked about judgment houses on this stream? It might be a good time to talk about judgment houses. Anybody know what a judgment house is? Let's do it. A judgment house is a haunted house that's put on by Christians. This was really big in the 90s and early 2000s, at least in small town Alabama. And essentially, Baptist churches and some others, Church of God and stuff like that, they would oftentimes dress up their entire churches like a haunted house. But instead, yeah, this is worth a moment. Instead of making it filled with zombies and all that kind of stuff, they would tell a story through all of the rooms, and you would kind of walk through with your youth group. And in there, you would go through these hallways, and you'd go into the room. And the first room was always the story of like an everyman. It's a teenager, or it's a girl. It's some kind of person that you can relate to, and you go in, and it's like always some sort of like big moment in their life, like prom or graduation or something. And that's the first room. It's like introducing the ordinary world. And then you go into the second room, after you hear a little bit of their story. And it's like, I remember one in particular. The second room had like an actual car, like brought in to this area. Maybe it's like a garage or something. And the guy and his girlfriend were driving home from prom, and they had been drinking, of course, and or he had been drinking and she hadn't, something like that. And they inevitably get into a car accident. Now, this was real stuff that we're experiencing as we're going through this Christian haunted house. They die. Scene ends. You go into the third room. The third room is filled with you've got kind of clouds or they were cotton balls all over the floor, and you walk in onto the cotton balls, and you've got a big podium there, and that's where Saint Peter stands. And he's asking everybody that comes into the room, what's your name? Is your name in the book? And he's got a giant book in front of him. And wouldn't you know it, girl and guy from the last room walk in, and they are judged by Saint Peter, basically, who's standing next to Jesus, and they'll be going through the book, or Peter will be going through the book. He's like, give me your name. And he looks over at Jesus, says, do you know this person? And Jesus will either nod, and if he nods, then the person will come into heaven and like give him a big bear hug. But if he says no, and this would always happen with one of the characters, he will say, I never knew him, depart from me. And then you get angels that come in and they grab the person and they drag the person out of the room. Okay, they drag them out, and you're like, okay, and it's like, proceed to room number 4. Room number 4, y'all, let me zoom in for this one because like it gets bonkers, as if it's not bonkers enough. Room number 4 was always, oh no, the camera's gone. Okay, well, the camera was gone on that one, so we're just going to stay right here. Room number 4, you guys, you walk in, and they've turned the heat up, and there's flames all over the place, right? And like cardboard, paper, construction paper flames all over the place. And it's supposed to be hell. And you've got like Satan sitting somewhere, and then you've got like the person that just got dragged away from St. Peter's gates or the pearly gates. And it's like, no, I'm burning in hell, all this stuff. And then after a moment, he begins to turn to you, the audience, and he says, don't make the choices that I did. You've got to choose Jesus, right? And so then it's like, proceed to room number 5. And in room number 5, you usually have like the pastor, and it's air conditioned, and it's supposed to be heaven. And you're sitting there and you're listening to the pastor, and he's like, if you don't want to go to hell, a place of no air conditioning and demons, then here's your card. And it gives you a card, and you can like check mark the box saying I believe in Jesus, and that kind of seals the deal. Okay, so there's been that's essentially a judgment house. The story's changed. I've seen every kind of story. There was one on the Titanic where you're on the boat, and the boat hits the glacier, and you go into the icy waters and you die, and you go into heaven or hell, respectively. Poor Jack, he didn't believe in Jesus, so done. And then there was another one, I hate to say it, but it was almost like a 9/11 theme that I was witnessing one time. I was like, oh my gosh. Point is, these stories were told in a haunted house scare tactic type fashion to help people kind of have this conversion moment. Now, I share that story with you tonight because it's pretty darn similar to some of the scare tactics that we see here, right? With Edda, these stories were told to us when we misbehaved so that we would act right. These stories are told to us by Barnabas so that our will decrease and the divine will enter in. I just think it's a really interesting thing, but I share that with you because real cultures do this sort of thing. Now, do the ends justify the means? I don't know. That's a whole other thing. But I'm really interested in the practicality of theology. One thing that I tell my students is that your theology is going to determine the way that you walk and act in the world, right? Your theology is going to determine how you interact with other people. So if hell houses is exactly what it is. Hell houses is another thing. In Alabama, we called them judgment houses. But these what I tell some of my students is, if you have a theology that's primary attribute is wrath, then and your God is primarily wrathful, then you will enact wrath, right, on other people. God hates the people that you do, and all that kind of stuff. If you are a compassionate person, then your orientation is going to be compassionate. If you're a justice-oriented person, it's going to be justice. Power, God is of power, and you have to exact power. You can see this all over the place in societies throughout the world, where theology informs practice. That's a conversation that we're going to get into in a few streams, but this is a major thing here. So. That I share. Not a fan of that tactic, but some pastors do that, and that's kind of the thing. I like the way I've always seen it is, if somebody can talk you into believing in something, somebody else can talk you out of it. Same thing with scaring somebody. If somebody can scare you into something, then you can be scared out of it as well. But instead, what is it that you really believe about the world? What is it that you believe about the divine, about God, and your faith and religion and all that kind of stuff? These are key questions. Do you believe something because somebody just told you that, or do you believe it because you've really wrestled with this, and you've kind of come to a level of understanding based on your own study? One of my favorite passages comes from Acts chapter 17, when Paul and Silas, I think Paul and Timothy and Silas, they visit a place called Berea, and it says the Bereans were of more noble character than Thessalonians. And after Paul had spoken to them, the Bereans went home and they searched the texts, the scriptures for themselves to see if what Paul was saying was accurate. I love that. That's what I tell my students. Go home, read these things, and kind of determine, does it make sense? What is, just because somebody said, hey, this, go home and do your homework. So, ProfNoctis soapbox. That's what that just was. Travels in Valisthea. Let's get back to the game. How about? No matter the season, Twinside streets bustle from dawn to dusk with visitors across the realm. Its inns and boarding houses overflow with merchants, seafarers, travelers, and tradespeople of all stripes. And where such sorts gather and ale is in no short supply, rumor and hearsay are soon doled out with equal abandon. 'Twas from a ruddy-faced midshipman that I first heard tell of the shimmering isle that was said to emerge occasionally, from the mists along a certain well-sailed shipping route. No man had ever seen it more than once, giving rise to rumors that it was no more than an apparition, and an ill-omened one at that. They say them as sees it twice. They say them as sees it twice never makes it home to tell the tale, growled the midshipman, his eyes glistening with morbid relish. Boy, oh boy, what a that was brutal to try to read. And we got a chest in here. Fallen Enigma. DLC? You think that's going to be some DLC? Shimmering Isle DLC. I like it. I like it. What do you think the DLC is going to be? That's a great question. What do you think? What do you think it's going to be? And what do you hope it's going to be? Yeah, Ash is actually full of books with interesting lore tidbits. Yeah, I love that. I love when games do that because it kind of fleshes it out. Final Fantasy XV did an amazing job of that. In fact, some would say it gave more lore in the stuff that you read than in the game itself. And I wouldn't necessarily disagree with them. It is a storytelling choice. Leviathan. Oh, man. You want some Leviathan. You want the Potion Girl DLC. Yeah. Sid Walud is definitely happening. I would love that prequel story. I don't know what I personally want. I wouldn't be surprised if we got more Sid and Benedicta stuff. Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm really hoping to see new playable characters. I actually just posted a Joshua moveset concept on Reddit today. What? On Reddit? Where? I really am not very active in Reddit. I should be. I probably just want more Clive because I'm a simple woman. You know? I would like Clive teaches chest day at the gym DLC. I have some crazy wacky theories about Shimmering Isle. If they're not filled with spoilers, bro, get us with those sweet, sweet theories. Sometimes I think about doing a ProfNoctis fitness plan. And I want to call it gains before games. Just talking about like daily workouts and gamifying it. This is a marketing idea that I have. So I'd love to do gains over games. Or gains before games, because not instead of, just gains before games. That's a big practice that I have. Before I game for the day, I'm going to go work out. But also make it accessible to people. I just like letting Lightning Rod do that work. You don't like Final Fantasy IX, but basically that? Oh, snap. Listen, it's not that I don't like Final Fantasy IX. Let's just say this. It's just not my favorite, right? Like, the worst Final Fantasy, to me, is still a good day. Like, Final Fantasy V, notoriously my least favorite Final Fantasy. I still will play it before I'll play a lot of other games, right? Like, I love Final Fantasy V, but I love it the least of all of the children, right? Like, I don't know, man. But Final Fantasy IX, it has some charm. Vivi is like an all-time character for me. I love Vivi. Zidane is not my favorite. I do not like Zidane. I don't like his tail. I don't like his womanizing. I don't like his dumb Karen haircut. I just don't like him. I also don't like that he fights with daggers, right? Like I was a big sword boy, right? Like I don't know. So that's just a personal preference. But all those things together make him like a least favorite protagonist for me. But no shade to anybody. No shade to anybody on that. Vivi is awesome. Steiner is a really good character. Beatrix is the Dion of Final Fantasy IX. Oh my gosh. Beatrix is an amazing character. Yes, swap Amulet with Beatrix. Boy, that'd be... Immediately, I would enjoy that game more. See, you disagree? You like Xenon. Okay. Hey, listen. I'd like no shade at all. I'm not here to argue. We like what we like and we hate what we hate, and there's no shade in that at all. That's just my reasonings for why I don't like it. You think Beatrix is the worst? Okay, well, that's fighting words, so I'll see you at Cash Me Outside. How about that? No, I'm just playing. Why don't you like Beatrix? See, I love her. As an old man myself, I totally get that. On the other hand, you always have to ship at some point. On the other hand, you always have to ship at some point. The idea of getting more for a game that I really enjoy is hard to argue against. That's fair. Oh, ow, that hurt. I hate this eyeball. I hate it. Oh, I hate him. There we go. Come on. Yeah, I don't think this game needs more content, but I'm not going to complain about it. I agree. I agree with that. Just turned 30 last month. Ah, some dude, happy birthday. Happy 30th. You're going to love your 30s. They are a great, great decade. I had a lot of fun. So, yeah, enjoy. How's it been? Did you do anything fun for your 30th? You can say that about every FF, but as an FF9 enjoyer, I can say it's more 9 than any other. Oh, striking similarities with 9 and 16. What are some of those similarities, do you think? Went out to a nice hibachi sushi meal. Nice! You were making me hungry. Your boy hasn't had dinner yet, which is unfortunate for you. I had a protein shake after the gym, but that is no dinner. So what is your go-to thing when you go to a hibachi sushi place? This is for everybody. What is your go-to thing? I always get like the straight up chicken plus steak with a little bit of shrimp. Like I really kind of go all out. I'm like, give it to me all. Miso soup and fried rice? Yeah, Kurai, that's what I'm saying. That's some good stuff. Some of my students and I, several years ago, we used to always go to an area hibachi place, like on weekends, like after church and stuff. And our goal, y'all, like this was insane. I like this is the ProfNoctis hibachi challenge. Go and do this. Make this a thing. You have to go and like, you've got to get everything when they're cooking. But the goal is you finish eating everything before the chef throws it on your plate, what's next on your plate, okay? So you're constantly eating and like you're catching the shrimp in your mouth and all that kind of stuff. And that's like the professional gamer way of playing the hibachi minigame. Y'all do it. It'll change your life. Not change your life, but it definitely creates a competition for you and your friends. You shift around, little chicken, scallop, steak, shrimp. You prefer plain white rice. All right, all right. I'm so hungry right now. I'm coming for you, Barnabas.
This is it, boy.
White rice truther. What? White rice plain or with soy sauce drenched all over it. Because I'm a soy sauce boy. But don't call me a soy boy. That's mean. I'm a soy sauce boy. Soy sauce just makes everything better. Also hungry but too late to go out and get something. Too late to order something. Dilemmas. You got any snacks? I honestly, I think I've got some chicken salad I made the other day. I'm gonna be destroying the rest of that at midnight tonight or whenever I'm done. Soy sauce, man. Thank you. Thank you for recognizing. Thank you. Reverie, the kingdom of Waloed. Merman, pa. Merman.
I've come for you, Barnabas.
Barnabas. Why is it called Reverie, I wonder? What do you think, Claymore?
Stay close.
Torgal. Oh? My dog just looked up. A state of being pleasantly lost in one's thoughts, a daydream, reverie. Yeah. The Last King. Gosh, I love this. I love it so much.
The tower. It's alive. More echoes of the fallen. They seem to feed on ether. There shouldn't be any here.
Oh yeah, I love that. Ben Starr's favorite Final Fantasy is Final Fantasy VIII. I love that it's getting highlighted. I'm all for it. I have always loved Final Fantasy VIII. I have never understood the hate that it gets. Who hated it? I actually don't know who you're talking about, the edgy content creator. I really didn't. I was not of the generation of watching YouTube and content creation. Oh yeah, what a nice track for that. Absolutely it is. It's a great one. All right, let's do this.
Bloody fallen. Why do all their floors seem to have a mind of their own?
Why do they all seem to have a mind of their own? The tower theme is so good. It is so good. Y'all, this game has got to win best soundtrack, best audio. It's so stinking good. Oh, why did I do that? You big dumb. Heyo. Such a great song. Oh my gosh, I love it. I need to add this to my workout playlist. One of my favorite things about these songs in the soundtrack is that they'll have like a peaceful version, and then it goes into like high octane battle versions too, and it's great for like rest between sets. Like it gets really intense, and then it's like we're gonna rest for a minute, and then it's back, and it's so good. Odin is seated high above all the others. Yeah. Good physical storytelling there. This entire section is something of an ideological standoff, symbolic intercourse. Ooh, symbolic intercourse to be pondered might imply dreamy, as in Barnabas's dream. You know, it is in some ways dreamy, but let me also say it like this. It's dreamy in the same way. Like I almost liken it to religious euphoria, and in some of my research, especially in grad school, and a little bit in undergrad, not so much for my doctoral work, but I had to look in folk religions and cultic behavior. And there's something that happens in folk religions and in cults where you are convinced of this reality that's not true. It's not rooted, but it's all about power dynamics, and you're kind of given into it. And this is kind of how I take this, that Barnabas has created a reality that is fixed on his interpretation, right? And people are just living in his dream world, right? I think it's so interesting. So what a really cool thing, especially when you get to the Circle of Malleus, which we're probably not going to get to tonight. We'll get to maybe next stream, but just like, Whew, boy. Man, such good stuff. Reverie Splurge. Yeah, I never understood the hate for Final Fantasy VIII. Yeah, Ruby, please, hit us with it. Now's the time. Yeah, hit us with it, please. I'm going to be doing a lot of fighting, so that'll carry us, keep us interested in things. Oh, no! Oh, you dumb Griffin. Oh, that was so close. The spoony one? Yeah, I don't remember. I think Barnabas is the closest character in the game to a complete opposite of Clive. Oh, I like that. I do like that. Think of AVGN. Aw, man. Yeah, I do know who that is. And that works for a lot of people. It doesn't really work for me, personally. Okay, I like that. They definitely are kind of going for this anti-Clive idea. An anti-Clive, like an antichrist, right? Even the red-blue trope. Yeah. Ow. You jerk. No, I'm about to die. Oh! Oh, no. Oh, heck yeah, we did it. Okay, what'd I miss? I stayed alive. That's important. Barnabas, probably Clive, what he could have turned out in what Clive could have turned out to be if his life had gone a particular way after Phoenix Gate. Yeah, that's pretty true. Ruby, both lose a loved one at a young age. Both were exposed to extreme violence and war. Both lost hope in humanity in living, but chose different outcomes. Sid is to Clive, like Ultima was to Barnabas. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Now both characters want to save humanity, but their upbringings changed who they ended up being. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a really good point. I like that. Definitely, he's like the ultimate foil to Clive. Barnabas has completely given himself up to his fate, whereas Clive fights for the right to choose. I feel like Barnabas is the most compelling because albeit flawed, his goal is ultimately noble from his point of view. Yeah, that's a great point, too. Gosh, that's good. It's also implied in his backstory, Barnabas underwent an immensely successful revenge arc. Yeah. Oh, wait. Torgal, thank you. Go, boy, go. Be proud of me. I used the Torgal sense. L3 to dog. Sid and Ultimate comparison is really good, especially when you realize how close Clive was to giving up like Barnabas was throughout the story, which is it. I mean, he's still got his frame of will. He's still fighting for things. That's why Barnabas is sent by Ultima to sever the sinews of all of his connections. Essentially, we have to vacate Clive's humanity in order to empty him. We have to vacate it so that we can fill it with Ultima's will. Well, hello. This one fallen bug is going to get it. Etymology of Barnabas is the son of prophecy. Ooh. Clive thinks, Barnabas does think of Clive as a naive young man like Barnabas once was before this fight begins. Yeah, and so he's, boy, isn't that the truth? That's a good point too. I love that. Oh no, not the slime, the flan. Ooh, ow, ow, ow. Ah. Yeesh. So are we doing Rebirth next or Final Fantasy 15, referring to when you told me to bring the same energy to Rebirth? Yeah, so we're not going to do Rebirth next. We are going to do Remake in December, though. We are. I've got some big-time lectures on that definitely come at things from a different angle than we've done 16. But my goal is to hit Remake throughout the month of December. Yeah, and then we'll do 15 in the spring, probably around February, probably right around the time that Rebirth is released. I will not be streaming Rebirth when it comes out. And the reason for that is people don't watch me to experience the games as much. They come for lectures, and I can't do lectures exactly on a first playthrough. And also, I do worry about spoilers. Yeah, I will 100% do 16 DLC lectures. Yes. As soon as they come out, baby. You know I will. Do we think the DLC is going to be announced, or not announced, but revealed at the Game Awards? We're all expecting a Final Fantasy VII Rebirth trailer, but are we going to get 16 DLC? That's the big question. Ball boy. Cinematography and positions of certain objects in relation to each other during this entire dungeon. Say more about that. What do you mean? Lady, I think that he said that, but I cannot remember for the life of me. There we go. Good grief. I hate when my dessert fights back. I'm excited for the Game Awards. I love the trailers every year. It's really fun. Boing, boing. Everyone at Square says a ton of stuff. Can't keep it all straight, especially the remake team. Man, they've been blowing it up lately. I was watching Schrodinger's stream yesterday where they were talking about it and trying to make some sense of it all. But, can we put a gag order on them? You know, like, it's going to get worse, right?
If I were Barnabas, where would I be?
At the top. So I could look down on the wall. I do know your dislike. Listen, I don't know if it's going to change your mind, but I think you're going to appreciate the game more. I will say that. I can't fix gameplay things for you, but I can give you some context for like why I love the game. So, yeah, I feel like we've seen so much about Rebirth at this point. Yoshi means let's go. Hey, we love that. What I meant by my comment is pay attention to what the tower means, Clive's ascent, where Barnabas is, and how the battle plays out. Okay. I'm into it. If you've got anything specific to say, go ahead and throw it in the chat. Yep. Toggle. That's the door, huh? That's the one. Oh good, chunks of wurite. I do love chunks of wurite. Here they come. Go get him, Clive. Go get him. I should really say this at the final lecture, but this game is a very Christian story, as unsound as it is, without a lot of elaboration. Okay. Let me see. It irritates me when they say 16 story has too many JRPG tropes, esoteric, Gnostic, Abrahamic religions. You know, that's going to be a great point in the lecture, the final one. I'm excited for that lecture. I think we all are. We're going to need like 12 hours for that lecture. Oh my gosh! Don't let him do it to you. Back it up, back it up! Oh gosh, so fast! Oh my gosh, there's two of them? I didn't realize that. Okay. We're gonna have to do some things differently. Ruby, I agree. I mean, they really do pack it in that last hour, right? I mean, it's so good. Oh boy, there's... Come on. I gotta do it. Oh my gosh, I'm dying. Yeah, let's go. Get in there. Yeah, y'all are getting me excited for the last lecture. We're gonna have a great time that night. It's gonna be fun. So many interpretations. Yeah, I love a good story that's gonna have some open interpretation to it. I love it. Love it. I love ambiguity. I think that's why I don't like the Final Fantasy XV book. They explained a lot, and they retconned the ending, which I think is the perfect ending. Yeah. Same with 10-2. Like, can we just have a good landing? Good ending? Oh gosh, here comes Ball Guy. 13.7 remake. And Stranger of Paradise handled the stagger in a good balance, yeah. End goal being to kill God, yeah. Y'all to both. Yeah.
Well, that's new.
That's new. Ow, that hurt. The Undertaker! WWE, baby. I'm still in the WWE phase, Leon. It is so funny. I have a good time with it. Evil Yahweh, no like humans. Oh! That could have been bad. That's... wow. Man, that lightning rod is like Stagger City, baby. Lady of the Rings, I only know one speed, baby. It is hit the gas. All gas, no brakes. Sometimes it works. And if not, then we just back it up.
Hopefully there aren't any more.
Yeah. Hopefully not, Clive. What an inconvenient tower. If I were Barnabas, then I would probably have made a structure that was a little bit more, I don't know, livable. I am not a defensive driver. I lived in Atlanta for 3 years. And maybe an aggressive driver.
You know what to do, boy.
Some dude, yeah, that's exactly it. We'll talk more about that on the last. Oh, wrong way, buddy.
Farewell.
Farewell. Yeah, you're right. He didn't make the tower. It's like that old, it's like that old, saying from Final Fantasy Tactics. Blame yourself or God. Here we're going to blame God for making tower. Yes. The Fallen. I'm going to blame the Fallen. Their stupid tower. Yeah, Claymore, I agree. Final Fantasy III's Crystal Tower is pretty bad. You are correct. You're correct. Worst tower in Final Fantasy games, though. I seem to remember a tower that had like 100 levels, 99 levels. 3 is your least favorite? 3 is pretty low for me. It's pretty low for me. It's lower than 2 for me. Which I know is anathema to a lot of people. But it true. 12 had that tower. Yeah. Gosh, annoying. 13 has a bad tower too in Urba. Yeah. Ball guy. Ruby, I think I would disagree in that while I think that the we get a good portrayal of religion in the community. Oh crap. In the community at Lost Wing to a degree, especially Lost Wing, and then in oh my gosh, Lost Wing in Martha's Rest, and with the priest that helps do the funerals. Now, yes, religion put them in that place in the first place, but their hope in Saint Grieger, the readings of Saint Grieger in Lost Wing, I think that that's actually really helpful because... Oh, I see what you're saying. Okay, just wanted to make sure that we were given a little bit of credit where it was due there. Pandemonium at least has awesome music. Though Labyrinth of the Ancients also has really good ones. Good music. That's right before Crystal Tower, I guess, but... Is it right before? I can't remember. It's been a minute. To be flames. That was gutsy. Ow. I will not stand for this. Oh, bad news. Again, with the bad news. Okay. Whoa! Ultimicia's castle is great. A lot of FFA love tonight. We do love it. There we go. Oh! Crap! I was not expecting that. I thought I might be able to hit that mid stagger. Okay. Okay. Hold nothing back. We didn't let midstream be a long one. Okay, let's go. If Mythos can't even defeat a ball, for real. For real. If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball. Control node in Final Fantasy IV was one of my least favorite bosses ever. Who's baller now? Oh, Gold Boy. Hey, Crap! Wow, okay. Okay. If you think Jill's clanking is bad. For some reason, his clanking doesn't bother me. But Jill might as well be wearing this. It's almost like they mixed up their sound design. The clanking thing, Jill makes a particular noise when she moves. And it is clankety clank, clank, clank. Ah! Ow. Ow! Okay, enough playing around here. Come here. Get out of the fire! Get out of it. Okay, we're not gonna save it for the, Yeah, I don't know. I have that issue big time. Final Fantasy X? Nah. Clive does have the leather squeak. He does. Y'all make me feel like I'm taking crazy pills for real. I know I'm not though, cause like my in real life, people that like also play this game, they've told me, yeah, when I was playing that game, all I could hear was Jill's freaking clanks. Oh my gosh, what are we doing? You think I could 1v1 Barnabas with only Odin as a challenge? Well, we can try it. Wouldn't that be fun? If you want to see me struggle, yeah, we can do that. Stream isn't it? You doubt me? What's in it for me? Other than a headache. I'll give it a shot. I ain't scared. ProfNoctis and all. Of course, I'm running out of To me, flames! We are not finishing the game today. There is zero chance we finish the game today. I'll tell you that. No way. We've got at least 3 more streams. At least. Your boy could really use some potions. Well! Gotta get through it. Oh my gosh. That guy sucked. Or I'm giant. Didn't even level up. Flawless fallen iron. That fight was so long. That fight was so long. My Achilles heel is clanking things and cannon boys. Okay, here we go. Cutscene time, baby. Yeah, ruthless. Back to back to back.
Almost there.
Oh, Ruby, I do not want to try what you suggested. No abilities, only parry dodge, basic melee Zenitsuken. No. Absolutely not. That sounds like a disaster. Here we go. Don't give me magic to Ash. Give me potions. Give me potions or give me death.
He's here. I can feel him.
Well, we're at the top, so. Okay, hang on. Let's look at our lives for a second. Okay, I like those things. Lightning rod. I mean, I guess it's all fine. Why change the formula now? It's a great moment. Great scene.
The blade must ever feed if her edge is to remain keen.
Butcher. What care you for these worthless creatures? They are nothing. Weak from the moment of their conception, ever longing for power not theirs to command, they turn unfailingly upon themselves. Like sheep, they roam in filthy flocks, eager to trample those few gifted a fleece of gold. Or that they might feel contentment with their pitiful existence. Prejudice and persecution,
severance and strife. Every earthly wrong springs from the malice in men's hearts. Malice born of the pain and suffering that is free will. Its corruption is gnawed at your being from the very moment of your birth.
You're wrong. It is no corruption. It is who I am. Every choice I make, right or wrong, gives me reason to carry on. And carry on I shall. Not as a puppet, but as a man. Which are you?
There was a time I too thought those the only choices.
Yeah, he is.
What?
Long ago, God granted man the gift of magic.
Here we go.
And with that gift did he build great civilizations. Yet over time, man lost sight of the gift's true meaning, stepping from the path of shared prosperity to one of avarice. He abandoned his creator for sword and flame, and through his folly, beckoned the blight. Yet, there were those few who refused to turn their eyes from the heavens, and they prayed to God that he might lead them back to righteousness.
Yeah.
And the Lord
Lead them back to righteousness, right?
Before the worthy shall the gates of paradise open.
Again.
So did I spread my arms to the ether and cast my soul upon its gentle waters. I gave myself unto him. Proven, the Lord charged me thus. If your kind are to find salvation,
they must be made to serve.
To serve. You see, paradise lies but a single step away. Could we only take it? Could we only leave our transgressions behind? For none save the pure of heart and mind may set foot in the new world. I will save us. But it all begins and ends with you. You are the key, Mythos. And with this humble offering, shall I prove my faith once more.
So you forsook your kingdom. You forsook yourself to serve.
This is what we've been saying, you guys.
How is that living?
Subjugation of self, will.
What you seek to provide is not salvation. It's anything but. Life is about always having a choice. Take that away, and we might as well be dead.
Yeah.
Very well. Come then. Show us the strength of your will.
It's not the strength of my will that should worry you. But
the weakness of yours, right? So again, I feel like we've had this conversation several times. I mean, this is the climax of one who has completely subjugated his will, and Clive, who is holding on to his will in spite of it just being easier to have given up. Everything that he's been through has been to break him. right? This is what Ultima has wanted. It's just powerful stuff. And again, I think, I don't remember who said it, but from a certain point of view, Barnabas is like a hero. And I think that this is kind of the story of Moses in some way. Moses offering unflinching loyalty, fidelity to these laws. Okay, are you there? Are you there?